Welcome to my podcast. I've been doing a lot of research on the pineal gland from a physical point of view and also from psychically and spiritually. I wanted to share it with you this week. I feel that the pineal gland is a really important gland, especially if you're trying to ascend in any way, spiritually or psychically. The gland's just in the kind of the middle of your brain there. You can Google it all. And the pineal gland does a lot of things. Like on a physical level, it gives us melatonin, and I think it's involved in serotonin as well. Personally, I feel it has to do with mood and depression, headaches, anxiety. And if you're very, very stressed, I think it actually physically affects the hormones that the poor little pineal gland's just trying to give out. I noticed that when I went and had a look, when people were young, they had a big active pineal gland. As they get older, it gets smaller, or isn't working properly. And then I noticed that when people get older, they actually don't give out as much melatonin, or the gland's not working as well. And you might want to have a look at that. Perhaps for you, melatonin will actually help to make you more calm, also sleep, and perhaps your mood as well. That's a personal choice. There are two sorts. There's the real melatonin, and then there's the homeopathic. I personally didn't have as good a response from the homeopathic as I wanted, sort of going to the actual real melatonin. You can take other things, like tryptophan. It's an amino which people take too. And I feel you can help your pineal gland physically. And one of the ways is to eat well. And of course they say get more sleep, but of course when you haven't got enough melatonin, you don't get enough sleep, do you? But you can just make sure you keep your diet fairly healthy and keep away from a lot of, they feel that fluoride's affected, and keep away from a lot of fluoride type things perhaps. Use a little water cleanser that clears out the fluoride, and don't maybe use fluoride toothpaste if you make that choice. These are all personal choices you have to make. What I found really interesting though when I started looking at it was that I would have thought that everyone's pineal gland was mostly working, but when I went and checked everybody, it was like a variety of working well to really not working, and then just playing up ridiculously badly. And that was a real surprise for me. It also, though, made me really start to look at it from an energetic point of view. The yin tang, which is in the middle of your forehead there, that's the point, that the Chinese point, I think it's 20.5, which is on the governor vessel, which you might want to check out. And that point there is in there, and you can massage that point between your two eyebrows, because that point will activate the pineal gland. And it's also a really good point for any sort of sleep or depression or feeling nervy. You just massage it with your two fingers. It's really, really easy to do, and that will help you. The other thing that actually helps is to do some chanting, and that's the sixth chakra, that one, the third eye chakra. And the chanting is the Om. You do it however you like. There's all different ways of going Om, like you do what you want. You can even play that music to yourself, and then your body will actually respond to it. And when you do the chanting, it resonates all your face, which sort of vibrates and activates the pineal gland. And that's why we suggest you do that. Some people talk about holding the thumb and the index finger together, like I make a little circle. And you've probably seen people like sitting there in meditation doing that, and that's supposed to help keep the energy circulating well. And you might want to use that to sit sometimes and just use the fingers there. I found that there's a lot of information on the pineal gland in terms of the physicality of it, like modern medicine type ideas, and that was interesting. But I'm also very interested in from a psychic point of view. The other thing you might want to do is you can tap on your third eye, just tap on it, and that will activate. Just do some tapping every day on that spot, and that will help to activate it. A lot of people also use the purple colours, because that seems to be one that will activate that. That chakra is the purpley colours, violet colours. You might want to bring in the violet light. You might want to wear amethyst or any purple coloured stones. You can even put an amethyst there. And meditating will vibrate it. Now, I know that because when I meditate, when I start, I can feel it whirling. that third eye. I can feel it whirling around and vibrating. So you might have actually had that sense. I think that to stimulate this will help you on a physical level, but it will also help you on the psychic and spiritual level. I remember when I went to this homeopath and I was like 42 and I'd had my big accident. I went to this man and he said to me, "You have a really beautiful third eye." He also said to me that some of my other chakras are all shut down, so he opened it for me, which was really nice. But I always remember he said to me, "You've got a beautiful third eye." And the third eye is to do with that, where that chakra is and what the pineal gland is, the gland that goes with it. In the olden days, they used to say that to pass the spiritual test, some people who we call like monks or seers had to go into a dark cave and activate the pineal gland to the point that they saw the light. I thought that was really interesting because the pineal gland is your third eye, like it's where the light comes in, right? It's to do with light and dark, and the more light you can bring in, and I want you to do that as well. So when you're massaging or you put your fingers there, think about that you're sending light into the third eye, but also to the pineal gland. It's important to look at some other things. There's suggestions that jasmine oil or lemon, sandalwood's often used as well. I think frankincense is another good one to put there. And some people have said pine. I think you'll kind of get a feeling when you pick your oils up. You'll know like which one to put there and just massage it in there. Because the pineal gland is really important because it's like one of the big glands in our body. And we need to have all the glands working to help the chakras work, to help us to be healthy. And as we get older, I think a lot of these things atrophy, and we can still work on them energetically and physically to make them be bigger and bigger and better. I would also meditate on it in terms of seeing it, see the little gland. It's only one. You can go and have a look at it online. I think it was called this because it looks like a little pine cone, like in a sense. It had something to do with that correlation. And you see it in your mind's eye, and then you send the light to it. And you just keep sending the light to, and you just keep sending the light to. And if you get the colours to send, you send the colour, and you send healing light to it. Because what you're trying to do is light it up to get it to work. Because anything in the body that's not working isn't vibrating at the right rate. To bring the vibration up of the organ or the part of the body, that's what we're really doing. And you can do this with your mind. It's easy to do. Every time, since I started working on it, every time I think about my pineal gland, I just send it light. And I've been doing that for a few other people. I've just been sending it light. Every time I think of someone who's having sleep problems or depression or anxiety or trouble with their hormones, I just keep sending the light to their pineal gland. Now, when you send it to people, of course, you know they'll take it or not. And if they don't want it, it won't interfere with them at all. It's a personal choice they make. But if you don't send it, you don't give them that chance. I found it really interesting. I think that some people come in with it being a little bit on the wobble, and that will start affecting them as they get older. And I feel that it is really implicated with sleep and the rhythms around the body. And if you can get your rhythms around your body better and your energy in that area better, I think it'll improve everything, because we all need to be working on ourselves and getting stronger. On a spiritual and psychic level, I believe that when you work with the pineal gland and when you work with the third eye, you increase your psychic capacity to understand things, to hear spirit, to see visions, to have dreams, to connect with your guides. It's like huge, because that gland it's got a really metaphysical feel to it to me. I feel that all the seers and all the readers and the clairvoyants and the healers have really good pineal gland, and it has that spirituality aspect to it. If you feel there's any blocks there, you can let it go. Any emotional blocks in it, mental, psychological, and astral, any astral blocks. It can be blocked by the people, I believe, the third eye, because when people shut us down, particularly shut down our intuition, they'll actually hit the third eye. So just be a little aware of that. That's where people are hit. And often you'll know they're doing it because you'll feel the bang there, you feel a little hit there. It's what I've spoken about in other podcasts. Work on your pineal, get it vibrating higher, fill it up with the light you want to. And if you need to use melatonin or whatever you find works for you, some people also use tryptophan, whatever you feel that intuitively is right for you, then do it. And you'll know when to use it, and then you'll just find you stop using it and you're like, oh, I forgot, but usually it's just your body has had enough. I'm hoping you have some fun with this. There's lots of things to do with it. I'm going to start working a little bit more on mine for a physical reason and also for a metaphysical reason. So have a nice metaphysical week, and I hope you get lots of sleep and start to feel calmer and de-stressed, because I think this gland has a lot to do with that for a lot of people. So I'm sending you lots of love and lots of light.